Are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Anybody that's watching at this time, I really do appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Good win, right? We're still undefeated in the in-season tournament, which is good. Lakers are taking it serious. Lakers seem to really be showing up for these games. Though you can make an argument, we've played bad teams outside of the Phoenix Suns, right? How much can we put into it? But regardless, I'll take the win. I like the win. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a win streak here. We got to go play Utah next, and we'll see what the end result with that and the Phoenix Suns are, and then that'll kind of tell us how this tournament should play out. But the Lakers should win this. Lakers should advance in the tournament, and then hopefully win the tournament. That'd be a nice kind of confidence boost, nice sort of establishment for the Lakers. I love the energy to start the game. I thought the Lakers started the game really well. It was nice to see just guys getting after it, hustling, doing the things that they are doing. But after that, after the start, the first quarter, it just kind of seemed like the Lakers took their foot off the gas and were just kind of coasting the rest of the way, which that I don't love, right? I don't love seeing the Lakers had so many opportunities to just kind of put this game away and just have it be over and not have to play LeBron and AD in the fourth and stuff. And they just kept letting them stick around. And we controlled the game, which is good. We won basically start to finish. So that's always good when that happens. But I would have liked a little more let's step on their neck type thing. That's kind of would have been my approach. But diving into the game real quick, the Cam Reddish, let's start there. Cam Reddish is I cannot wait to see Reddish and Vanderbilt. Reddish is just that man, dude. He is out there getting all these deflections, getting all these steals. The guy has been a bad man, hitting shots, which is nice. He shot 50% from the field again, gave you 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 block. But it's just the constant pressure that he provides. I mean, he is just getting after it on the defensive side. And once he returns and we get Jared Vanderbilt back, I am so pumped to see how that pairing defensively works. And I also think that Reddish has earned the right to start personally. I really do. I think the starting five should be D'Lo, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD. That would give us so much size, so much switchability, bunch of athleticism between Reddish and Vanderbilt. Obviously, scoring and shooting would be a little concern, but Vando's been Reddish has been very good thus far. And then if Vando can even be consistent, I think would be okay. At least just to start the games. You can always just change things accordingly throughout the course of the game. But LeBron still, dude, what do you say about the guy? The guy is ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. 35 points. He had 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 of 9 from 3. His three-point shot has looked good thus far this season. I'm hoping that stays that way because my concern is that LeBron falls in love with that three-point shot, and if it's not hitting, he's not going to stop taking it. I'm not saying he has to shoot 50% from 3 or 55% from 3 every game, but I need him to at least maintain consistency with it. If he maintains consistency, then that would be huge for the Lakers. But in general, just a great game from LeBron James. Anthony Davis kind of picked it back up there at the end of the game. He had 6 straight points or 4 straight points, whatever, hit some shots, which is good. He didn't have a good game. He did good in the defensive side and rebounding. Gave you 14 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 5 blocks. He had a ton of turnovers. He's got to take care of the basketball. I know that they're kind of hammering him down there. He's got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. But 2 assists, 3 steals. So he was a menace on the defense side. Excellent defensively. But offensively, his shot just still isn't falling. 8 of 19 from the field. Like I said, he really kind of – hopefully that's the sign, right? Hopefully, he hit a couple key shots down the stretch that can kind of get him back in his flow, get him back in his rhythm. At least I hope that's the case. But we'll see. Time will tell. I just hope that we see a little better of a performance going forward from Anthony Davis. Rui Hachimura continues to be solid in the minutes that he's playing for us. It's limited, but just hitting key shots, making key plays. D'Angelo Russell, we got to talk about him. D'Lo has been great the last handful of games. 4 or 7 from 3, which were huge. 14 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He's taking care of the basketball for the most part. He had 4 turnovers, but again, one of them was a foul. One of them, he supposedly stepped on the line. Sure. But for the most part, he's done a good job of taking care of the basketball, doing what he needs to do, and orchestrating and running the offense, which is very important. And we need him to keep that up and maintain it. But anyway, let's dive into the chat here a little bit, answer all your questions, super chats, all that stuff. You guys are awesome. LeBron James breaks the record for most points in a game by a player in year 21, previously held by LeBron James 2 weeks ago. I believe it. It's like every game there's a new record. Lakers need to pretend it's an 82-game tournament. Yeah, facts. They show up. They love to play in these tournaments. They really show up for these tournaments. Can you explain how Braun doing at this stage? Guess as good as mine, man. He is an absolute specimen. Absolute specimen. I love to see it. Love to see it. LeBron King and GOAT things. Absolutely. By the way, you and Lakers Nation, only people I watch y'all talk to. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Lakers Nation is great. They are fantastic. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you even putting me in the conversation. Not a solid win, but the Lakers really got to get tested these next 5 games. Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted them to I felt like they didn't take this game as serious once they got the big lead. I need to see, we're having our issues, right? This is a game where you kind of put together a full game. I mean, obviously, again, we won start to finish, but I really feel like we kind of took our foot off the gas at times. Turnovers, we got to stop turning the ball over so much. It's ridiculous. You're not winning games with 16, 17 turnovers. You got to protect the basketball. But I really want to see them just put together a full game. I'm good. AD's defense showed up on nights that maybe his offense was there. And I mean, that's why I've talked about, so many people have thrown out oh, you need to trade AD. You need to. No, you're not doing that. You're not trading AD. You're not doing anything like that. Even as badly as he can be offensively at times, his defense is A1. There's nothing else in the league. You're never going to be able to replace that and replicate that. Once Vando comes back, you'll be the best defense in the league. You'll be fine. But it's why I want to get somebody like a Demar or something like that. Somebody that can give you that consistency, 20-plus points a game every night, like clockwork. So where AD, he could just kind of focus on rebounding the basketball, playing defense, locking it down, and then whatever, he gives us on the offensive side is just a bonus, D'Lo and LeBron did play well. Yep. If you were the head coach right now and you had this team fully healthy, what would be your closing 5? I mean, I think as a coach, you kind of leave that open based on the guys that are playing well. But I think for me, it just depends which guy's playing better between D'Lo and Reeves. But I think there's a real argument to be made that if LeBron's going to play point guard in the fourth quarter like he has been, I would just go big. I would just go with Prince, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD, right? And let LeBron run point, have a bunch of just actions, bunch of movement, right? Bunch of guys cutting, and you have Tourny and Prince. If he can knock down if he can't shoot the 3 and he's still struggling, then you got to go with a D'Lo or Reeves. But if he can kind of get back to that 38, 40%, I think you have him. You have lockdown defense. But basically, I'd go with Reddish, Vando, LeBron, AD, and then one of Rui, or why do I keep saying Rui? Reeves, D'Lo, and Prince. It's kind of how I'd go. But appreciate you. Thank you so much. Coming in out, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Not basketball related. I'm headed off to sail to America tomorrow. Nice. The trip will take a month and a half in my culture, and we give a small tribute for luck. Well, thank you. Seriously, I really appreciate that. And yeah, good luck. Can't wait to hear all about it when you come back. Seriously. Can't wait to for you to just chime in. I love stories like that. I love hearing that stuff. So definitely looking forward to that. And thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, but be safe. Hope you have all your ducks in a row and everything like that. And that's gonna be fun. What an experience! Seriously, it's gonna be a fun experience. I'm envious. I really am. I'm envious. But seriously, thank you. That was very kind of you. Really appreciate the super chat. Already got that one. Good win now. Clippers lost. Yep. Need the Clippers loss for the night, kid. I'm with you. I was thinking the Lakers could trade for Alex and Drummond for Gabe Vincent and Jackson Hayes in some picks. I wouldn't hate that. I still think we need a guy like a DeMar DeRozan, and I think you might as well just go get a DeMar DeRozan if you're going to get a Caruso and Drummond. Like the problem is like you're not giving like Lakers are limited with picks. So like they would have to be willing to take a couple seconds, which I don't think they would. They would for Drummond, but they're like pretty adamant about a first round pick with Caruso. So that's why I think you got to get DeMar. You got to do something where you get DeMar, Caruso, and Drummond, because then you can like package like some of our younger guys. You could throw in a couple pieces because for them to trade Caruso and Drummond, they're not getting any players back. Like they're not getting any players that make sense for them. So the only incentive would be picks, where they'll get a late first round pick for Caruso. There'll be some team like the Warriors that their pick will be like 25th, and they'll just trade for just to get a guy like Caruso or whatever. So if that's a possibility, I wouldn't hate it. I'll tell you that. Look, don't forget to give this video a like, even if Tyler's shirt game isn't as good as the hoodie game. Hey, this DBZ shirt is great. This is classic. It's beautiful. But yes, I know my hoodie game on point. I love me some hoodies. But yes, take a quick second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I greatly appreciate it. You look 3 LeBron season high 5 threes. Yeah, he was hitting them tonight, which I love. Oh, but can still carry this. Glad I witnessed greatness. Seriously, I have talked about that repeatedly. Appreciate it while you can. Whether you're a Laker fan, whether you're or not. You could hate the Lakers. You could hate LeBron. Value this moment. Because seriously, like this is once in a generation type talent. It's very likely in our lifetimes we may never see anything close to what LeBron's doing. So appreciate it while you can. Bron really looking like he wants to 500K. Yeah, facts. I would keep Max Christie. I would trade Max Christie for Buddy Hield to keep Cam Reddish. So like I was thinking about this because I believe it was Lee Cat posted about trading for Buddy Hield. I think he said Gabe Vincent and like JHS, something like that. I'd have to look at the money to see like what would actually work. But I wouldn't mind, like if we could go and trade, like, because my concern is we're not going to be able to get Caruso because there's just so many teams that are out to get him. There's a big part of me that wouldn't mind, like, go trade for DeMar DeRozan and then go trade for Buddy Hield. Right? Like, and even if you get Caruso, you can make an argument to go trade for Buddy Hield. Right? So, like, let's say we trade, D'Lo. Say we trade D'Lo. Say we trade D'Lo and like Vincent with the first to go get DeMar DeRozan. Then you could do like Gabe Vincent, JHS, and then whatever other side. Maybe you have to throw in like a Hayes or something like that. Also, I'd want to get Drummond. So sorry, DeMar and Drummond. Go get DeMar and Drummond. And then maybe trade, like I said, like Hayes, Vincent, and maybe a Christie or a JHS or a Lewis or something like that, and go get Buddy Hield. That would give you great depth. And then you could close, like if you wanted to, you could close with like DeMar, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD. And then like just kind of have Buddy coming in and chipping in at threes if you need late shot shooting. Like, I don't know. It was just kind of a thought. I don't know. Maybe I'll touch on it tomorrow. Maybe I'll my morning video, I'll dive into like potentially trading for Buddy Hield. All game, scoring, rebounding, playmaking, hitting threes. Yep, gotta love it. Cam Reddish, Rip City. He was fantastic. Like the stream, we're winning the tournament. I appreciate you, Major, and I agree. We getting this dub. needs to be drug tested. Defense, rebounding, and turnovers the only negative. Yeah, gotta do the little things. Gotta bring the hustle. Gotta bring the energy. LeBron shouldn't be the second best player in year 21. I agree. Need other guys to step up and play big. Got to stop being so LeBron reliant. Giving up offensive rebounds might be a bigger problem than the turnovers. In my opinion, it is. So my biggest concerns for that we need to clean up before the playoffs is definitely offensive rebounds, free throw shooting. Got to make free throws. And then turnovers, right? But like you can still win with turnovers if you do all the other things. Like I think our defense will be fine once Vando comes. I mean, like last year, we went from middle of the pack defensively to literally the number one defense in the league as soon as Jared Vanderbilt came in. Now you have Vando, Reddish, which I can't wait to see those two together, and AD with once we get Vincent back. Like we're going to be a good defensive team. I'm not really so much worried about the defense. But like the three things that we need to solve before we get to the playoffs are offensive rebounds, free throw shooting, and then the turnovers. Address the turnovers. Got the hiccup. Crazy take, but I think the Lakers are gonna trade the house for LaVine in January, and they'll sign DeMar to a small contract in the summer. Problem is that would have to be an extremely small contract. Like he would have to take like a mid-level exception, which I don't see him doing. You're realistically you're not going to be able to get LaVine and DeMar, because the only way to do that is you basically have to trade for those two, but you'd have to trade literally like your entire roster, and I still don't know if you get there. So it wouldn't be LaVine and DeMar; it would be LaVine or DeMar. Because LaVine's making $40 million, that jumps up to like 42 or something like that next year. You're basically at the salary cap. Because you'd still have like Reeves long term, you'd still have Gabe Vincent long term if you don't trade him, whatever. So I don't see a scenario unless DeMar was willing to take like a mid-level exception, which I don't see him doing. If he was willing to take like $5 million or a taxpayer mid-level, which is like $5 million. Forget about DeMar. He doesn't fit, and he comes up small in big moments. He's a volume scorer who's going to give up their shots. I disagree. I think DeMar would fit just fine. I think it would be a group effort in shots. I think look, you could basically give up. You get D'Lo's averaging 16 shot attempts per game. You could give those 16 shot attempts to DeMar, and he's going to give you probably 20 points a game consistently, right? Where D'Lo will give you like 14 or whatever. But also his impact and like him being able to play over the top, him being able to take over down stretches, him being able, like when AD's struggling to shoot the basketball, like right now, it's not as big of a deal because now AD doesn't even have to worry about trying to score the basketball. You have DeMar DeRozan. I personally think it would work. It'll work great. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong if it does happen. We'll see if it even does happen. But personally, I think DeMar DeRozan makes us scary. It might take a couple games. It might take a little while to figure it out. But I think DeMar solves a lot of the Lakers' issues. Doesn't mean you get the dub. I would like to trade picks in JHS for Alex Reeves, so I'm fine with D'Lo. Though maybe Reeves throw in and traded for a third option. I mean, I would, like I said, I wouldn't mind. I'm getting more and more comfortable with saying I think they should trade Austin Reeves and keep D'Lo. I just think D'Lo's playmaking, his ability to score would just be huge. Funny how you wouldn't trade for Kawhi, but would keep Anthony Street Clothes Davis. The fact that you even leave this comment tells me everything I need to know about you. Looking like a glitter shirt on stream. It's stars. There's galaxies. It's because they're space aliens. Like, gosh. AD's still injured. I don't think so. Not that I know. Don't trade D'Lo. I kind of want them to keep D'Lo. Does everyone still believe that LeBron has to take a step back to AD's lead? No, absolutely not. LeBron is still that guy. I just think he wants to. That's the difference. I'm taking DeMar over LaVine straight up. I would too, personally. And you could literally get DeMar, you get DeMar Caruso and Andre Drummond for the price of just LaVine, right? It just makes more sense. DeMar also does the same stuff, or a lot of the same stuff. LaVine gives you better rim pressure, gives you better three-point shooting, and gives you a little better athleticism. But DeMar DeRozan can still gives you the over-the-top shooting. He can still get to the rim. He gives you better playmaking. He's a slightly better defender. Like, there are the pros and cons for both of them. DeMar, I just think, makes more sense. I wouldn't hate, like, if we got news tomorrow that the Lakers traded for LaVine, like, I'm not going to be like, what are the Lakers doing that was dumb? Like, no, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, that's great. But I just think DeMar would make a better fit. I also think DeMar would be easier to kind of fit in, right? I think DeMar would also be willing to kind of take more of a step back and facilitate more and just kind of pick and choose the spots. I think DeMar would be great, personally. I really do. I genuinely believe DeMar will work fine for the Lakers. Again, I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. I don't think I will. I think this will be one of those things where I'm like, yep, see, went exactly how I thought. It might take a little while. I'm not expecting them to trade for DeMar and then literally that first game, they're the best team in the league. But I do think they can get there with that. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Now, where were we in the chat? The Flippers losing. Are they? I want to keep an eye on that. They're down 1. Oh, no. It's tie game. Sorry, I just did an update for me. So Phoenix is going to beat Utah. So if we beat Utah, we advance because we'd be undefeated. We'd have the best record. Even if we lose to Utah, I believe we advance because we have the best point, like most points, because it's like a point system. So, but I'd like to go undefeated in the tournament. So beat Utah and then we advance. Is Rui fans yell 4 more minutes and we got it. Guess next. Will yell for more touches. Only 5 touches from one of your more efficient scorers is questionable, but LeBron was doing LeBron things. I think that's what it boils out to. Honestly, like the main reason that Rui isn't getting the opportunity that many of us want him to get is because of LeBron, right? Like if LeBron, look at the game that LeBron missed. Rui got like hella touches and he gave you 19 points or whatever, and he was really good in that game. The reason he doesn't get the minutes that we want him to get and the reason he doesn't get the touches we want him to get is because of LeBron James. It's because LeBron's on the court and you're very limited on where you could play Rui. Drummond is not trash now. He is literally one of, if not the best backup bigs in the league, and he has been the last few years. He's not the 2010 Andre Drummond that was, the cornerstone for the Detroit Pistons, but we don't need him to be. If he was, we would stay as far away from Drummond as possible. But what Drummond is now is everything we need. Rebounding, hustle, energy. He's not like a great defender, but he's just another big body that can shut down or that can throw at guys. He's a good, solid help defender. Hopefully Suns win here because it would be better for the Lakers' chances of advancing in the in-season tournament. Agreed. Really good PD for Lakers if it comes down to that. Yep. I'm thrilled the Lakers won, but if they don't establish consistency on both ends and LeBron has to keep carrying the team, they won't win a championship. Everyone has to step up and earn their money. I agree. Right now, the Lakers are not a championship team. Right now, I would not bet any kind of money that the Lakers win the championship this year. We have seen spots. We have seen stretches where they look like a championship team. Blucka said it in the watch-along stream. He was like, the Lakers are, are the most consistent, inconsistent team ever. And it's a great way to put it, right? Like, because they are like, they'll be super consistent and in stretches. Like you'll see them for like a 3-minute stretch, just locked down, creating turnovers, rebounding the basketball, playing great defense, getting stops, doing X, Y, and Z. And then you'll see like a 5-minute stretch where they look like the worst team in the league. It's like once we put it together, I think we're going to be terrifying. But so far, we haven't been able to put it together for an entirety of a game, which just, again, in spots, which is a problem. How many first round picks do we have to spend? We only have one, be the 2029, 2030 are the only ones that we could trade outright. I do believe we have a couple pick swaps that we could do. And then we got some seconds. So it's not like we don't have like 2 or 3 firsts to trade, unfortunately. Let's try to get PG-13 because Clippers are going to blow this year. I would love that. Love it. Out of everybody, and I've said this before, if I could pick out of like guys that have the most potential to be available, Paul George would be my number one pick because he's so dynamic on both sides of the basketball, gives you that over-the-top shooting I keep talking about. He's an excellent, difficult shot maker, which is very important, right? Especially late in games down the stretch, especially in the playoffs. I know there's the concerns of the pandemic P theme, but I think he'll be fun, especially as like the third option. The offensive rebounds is the main problem of Lakes. So you need to trade some bigger centers that hustle and get those rebounds. But it's not even that. A lot of them are just long ball. It's just guys not chasing them down, right? Like Vanderbilt is good at just tracking them down. Like guys aren't tracking down the basketball. Guys aren't boxing out. Guys are just being lazy. It's not even a center problem because we'll run Jackson Hayes and AD and still can't rebound. We'll run Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood and we still can't rebound. Right? We have a bunch of 6'8" guys, and we still can't rebound. It's guys not giving the effort, and it's guys not locating the basketball. It's simple. The ball goes up, you track the ball, locate the ball, you find the defender, you box out, and you go and chase down the rebound. We're getting out, most of the time, we're not getting out rebound by centers. We're getting out rebound by like the other guys, the perimeter guys, the guards, things like that are hustling and tracking down the basketball. Other teams are tracking down the basketball. We're not. Like, I mean, unless you go get, some great rebounding center, if you go get, what's his name? Kevon Looney, then yeah, like that'd probably help a lot. But the reality is like we need guys that can track down and rebound. Like Jared Vanderbilt's very good at like the ball goes up, tracking it down. Okay, the ball bounced off the rim, going and chasing and sacrificing to get that loose ball. That's what we need other guys to do. And we'll be fine. It's 94-94. Is this game even on TV? Is that a Clippers game on TV? On like normal TV, or is it on? I want to see if it's on TV. Because if so, I want to throw that up. I don't want to trade anyone. I don't want to trade anyone. I think this team, as it is good enough. We just need a few players to get their confidence back. I mean, you can always be better. Like, are we good enough if we lock down and figure it out? Absolutely. But if you have an opportunity to get better, you do, right? Like, you can always get better. Right? Like, let's say right now it's a 50-50 chance for us to win a championship. If you can even get that to 52%, like, why wouldn't you? Oh, they have the Utah and Suns game. They don't have the Clipper game on? Oh, darn it. All right, let me check the pass. I didn't see it on that either, though. But I'm really looking forward to having Cam and Vando play in the same game. Neither LaVine nor DeRozan are worth destroying the team over. Well, DeRozan would be the cheapest because you don't have to destroy the team for DeMar DeRozan. Like, you can get DeMar DeRozan's only making $28.5 million. Like, you could do literally, like, you could trade. You don't even have to trade any of your key guys if you didn't want to. You're probably going to have to give up some key guys, but like $28.5 million isn't a lot. We literally could trade 2 guys and we'd still be the deepest team in the league, which would be totally fine. So you're not really blowing it up. But I am looking forward to seeing Vando and Reddish together. I agree with you 100%. Sorry, I'm trying to find the Clipper game. I want to see the Clippers lose. We're going to watch this together. We're going to have back-to-back watch-alongs. I just want DeMar and Caruso. I agree. You think we would have trouble acquiring them? DeMar DeRozan, I don't believe we will. Alex Caruso, I genuinely think we might. Out of DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Alex Caruso is going to have the biggest market because he's so cheap. Every team in the league could trade for Alex Caruso. And there's teams that'll probably give up a first, like a late first. You're not going to get a lottery pick or anything for him, but there might be a team that says, you know what, forget it. Let's just give up a first. That's why I think the only way the Lakers get Caruso is in a package trade. I don't think they get Caruso if they try to trade for him straight up. If they try to trade for him straight up, you're not going to get him. Rui and Vincent for Vu and Caruso. I wouldn't hate that either. Concern would be just the defense. Vu can rebound, spread the floor, hit shots, play make a little. Like he'd be solid, but AD would have to really kind of like lock down as a defender on both sides, be a better help defender. Oh, come on, let's go. Come on, Houston. Let this team gel. We got enough. I have nothing to say. No, you just said a bunch of nonsense. Like I'm not gonna waste my time and responding to something silly. The universe vomit on shirt. It did. It went blah. Got the dub, taking a shot. Nice, Jay. Nice. If we win this in-season tournament, I'll definitely do that. All right, come on. Play some defense. You're looking the wrong way. Paul George for D'Lo and Reeves in a first. He is the perfect fit. Braun back to point. I would love if we could find a way to get Paul George. I have said that repeatedly. We go get Paul George. They just want something like astronomical. DeMar Caruso and Drummond. I like that a lot. Do you think we have a team to take us to the promised land? I do believe we can. I think we have enough depth, enough talent, enough everything. I think we are very like I wouldn't be surprised at all if you had a time machine, you went into the future and you came back and you said the Lakers won the championship this year. I would wholeheartedly believe. It's just right. They're just not playing like a championship contender. Like if this is the team that we can expect in the playoffs, they're a first round exit. Like they just are because they just don't have. They're not rebounding well enough. They're not hitting free throws. They're not taking care of the bat. Like all the things that you need to do to win a playoff series, the Lakers are doing none of it. You can get away with it in the regular season. The Lakers, I still believe, win 50 to 55 games when all is said and done, and they very well could. But they're not showing the things you need in the playoffs. I agree. I am with you. I need a vet, but hopefully down the stretch. Proud of Cam tonight. Cam was beautiful. 35 for LeBron at 38. Gotta love it. Justly helps his team in every way. We need a volume over the top shooter. Our role players like D'Lo and Reeves can't handle this type of volume. Yep. Are we playing against the winner of the East Side for the tournament? So eventually if we end up winning. So like whoever has the best record advances, and then you have like the semifinal thing or whatever, and then you got the winners from the groups, they all play, and then you got the finals or whatever. So we still got like a handful of games. Drummond can rebound and body Joker. Well, let's go. Cam is the story of the year so far, though. Yeah, Cam has been fantastic. Just get Caruso and Drummond, and I'm fine. Yes, Drummond could be worth it solely for the potential of the Denver series. Yeah, just needs to come out that point guard spot. Yeah, he's not a point guard, unfortunately. Or he hasn't been playing like a point guard. I feel like the Nuggets are the 2015-16 Warriors. I don't think that good, but I get it. I'm picking DeMar over PG due to injury-prone factor. I just feel like PG gets injured mostly due to workload. I think it's a combination. But also PG has been, I mean, he hasn't been healthier than DeMar, but I just think his impact, like all you need him healthy for is the playoffs. If he's healthy for the playoffs, you're Gucci. I do like DeMar just because that guy's a lock to play 70 games a season, so I get that. But Paul George just impacts on, like he can do everything DeMar can do, but still shoot the three ball. And on top of shooting the three ball, he can play defense and defend the best player on the other team. DeMar can't do that. Right. So defensively, like you could literally run a starting five of Paul George, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. How do you score on that team? Like, how do you score on that team? Paul George, Cam Reddish, the way he's playing defensively, and Jared Vanderbilt, like, you're not scoring on that team. It'd be by far the best defense in the league. Lakers can definitely win a chip with PG because he will be the first option. Braun will defer due to playmaking, and AD doesn't have that number one DNA. Yeah, I mean, that's probably to an extent. DeRozan helps our rebounding too, to be honest. 6'6" slasher. Look, I love the idea of DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan can help rebound. They just score. Oh, let's go. 3. Come on. Beat these bums. Look, I'm with you 100%, Andrew. What DeMar would provide is, again, everything we need. He can help with the rebounding. He can help track down rebounds. He can help defend a bit. I mean, he's not an elite, like lockdown great defender, but he is good enough. He's serviceable enough. I should say that. He's perfect. Like, I really do. And people are so concerned about him not being able to shoot threes. 1, threes aren't everything. And 2, he can shoot threes. Like, he just doesn't take a lot of them. Like, we don't know if he's good at shooting threes or not because he only averages like 2 a game for his career. You don't even have a large enough sample size to know if he can shoot threes. It's just not his game, and he just doesn't like taking ill-advised shots, which I'm okay with. Let's go. That should have been an and one. Should have been an and one. But yeah, I appreciate you. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for Super Chat. Trade AD for Kawhi. You're not trading AD for Kawhi. People just be saying silly stuff. And then they want a response out of me. Like, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not going to respond to something silly. The defense Cam is playing is A1. He has been ridiculous. Absolute clamps. Come on, get a good shot. Take Harden. Why is Harden guarding you? Ooh, come on. If the Lakers beat Utah, they get the number 1 seed and a home game instead of possible wild card road game. Yes. Is that what you were talking about earlier? Because it was the way you said it. I thought you meant like because you were like, oh, if they win the division, that's why. But I thought you meant. I think now I get what you're saying. They win. You're talking about the bracket. Like if they win the group section. Okay. Sorry. When you said division, I was thinking like, ooh, come on, rebound. When you said the division, I thought you meant like the division that the Lakers are in. Look at James Harden just dump truck in this game. Bum. Oh, come on, finish that. Come on, beat these bums. Oh, Paul George. Come on, you're up 1 with a minute left. Beat these Clippers, man. Beat the Clippers. Beat these bums. Paul George is the only one saving this team. Come on. Oh, come on, bum. You turned the ball over. All right, you got to play defense. Come on, Green. Oh, come on. Now you're losing. If Houston lets these Clippers win after being up 5 with like a minute and a half left, I'm going to be upset. Suns beat the Jazz by 3. Nice. How good would this team be if right now we had 2018 LeBron and AD, this team would be terrified. Scorer like Paul or DeMar will open up the floor more for AD. AD had 16, 14, 5, and 3 steals. Solid stat line. Bron had it tonight and just tried to play his role. Yep. LeBron, Cam, and AD Defensive Player of the Year. Man, stay positive, guys. Just get Reeves and Gabe Vincent out of here for Buddy. I wouldn't hate that. And Caruso. I don't know about trading Reeves for Buddy, but I wouldn't mind getting Buddy. And Caruso. Let's go Lakers. Great stream, Tyler. I'm out. Stay positive. Look out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yes, we're not trading AD. I don't know why people say silly stuff. If these inconsistencies continue because of the lack of effort, we just might need to make a trade. Sometimes a trade scares or fresh faces can change an atmosphere. Yes, that's very true. Very true. Good win, Lakers. Yep. I missed the game. Did we look good today? We did. We look better than we have been. But still, we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, which I didn't like. I want us to stay focused. Keep your foot on the gas. Don't bail teams out and let teams back in it. Oh, come on. We need to make a trade regardless. We need a third star. $28.5 million for pure raw talent that will help is what we need. Do you think the Bulls will actually help us out and trade Caruso to us? I don't think they're going to help us out to trade Caruso, but I do think that they will if we make a convincing offer. Ooh. If we make a convincing offer, yes, I do think we will. But my concern with Caruso is literally every team in the league wants him. DeMar is a straight bucket. Do you agree with us getting rid of Caruso in the first place? No, but I understand why they did it. Because at the time, it would have put us in a rough spot financially. Oh, come on, Sengun. Make your free throws. It's one of those things where I get why they did it. I just wish that they would have ponied up personally, but I understand at the time why they did. In hindsight, it kind of looks like, oh, we should have done it, but again, at the time, financially, it could have hurt us long term. There you go, tie game. All right, come on. Tyler, would you be upset if we don't make a trade? Upset? No, I wouldn't be upset. Like I said, I still believe we have enough to win a chip. I think we have more than enough talent to hoist that Larry O'Brien at the end of the year. Again, if you can get better and you can fix major holes, and if you can make a trade that helps now and the future, why wouldn't you? Right? DeMar not only helps now, but he helps next year and the next few years. Because at the rate LeBron's playing, he's probably going to play another 2 or 3 years. So if you can get a guy like DeMar, now you have DeMar, AD, and LeBron for the next 3 years. Why wouldn't you want to do that? If you can again, I mentioned it earlier. If let's say the Lakers have a 50-50 chance of winning the NBA championship this year. If you can even get that to 52%, why wouldn't you? Right? But if your odds are 50-50, that's still a good chance. You still have an opportunity to do it. Did you put any money on LA winning the title before the season? I was going to, but I wanted to wait. I wanted to see how a couple things shook up first and kind of see how this team gels, which I'm glad I haven't yet because I wouldn't be super confident in my money right now. Like I said, I'm confident the Lakers will figure it out and turn it around. But it's one thing to be confident when it's free. It's another thing to be confident if I throw, $100 or whatever, a couple $100 on them potentially winning. But more likely than not, at some point, I will. At some point this season, I will. I'm waiting for the trade deadline on the Lakers for a chip. Like I said, I just want to see them kind of right the ship a little bit, and then we'll see. If I do it, it would probably be before the trade deadline. Because if they go and trade for DeMar and stuff like that, it's going to shoot them up. All right, come on, one stop. One stop so we can get the final shot. You're gonna have Harden take a step back three? Oh wow, they gave him an and one? That's a flop. No way, that's a flop. Are you kidding me? Harden just won them the game? Come on, Houston. Houston's about to trash this game, man. Oh, come on, Houston. I know Rockets were up 5, man. Bums. Are there any changes during the offseason that you would have done looking back at now, or are you still confident in the move so far? Still confident in the move so far. I don't think that they got anybody that they couldn't have gotten or that they would have been able to get otherwise. Like we got guys that I didn't even think we'd be able to get. So I am totally okay with it. Ham might make DeRozan better on offense, though. He very well could. Lakers don't have enough floor spacing for DeMar. They absolutely have enough floor spacing for DeMar. DeMar would also help with floor spacing. There's more to floor spacing than just being able to shoot threes. Come on. Lakers didn't have floor or what people consider floor spacing when we won the championship last time. We were 26th, 27th in the league. There's more to floor spacing than shooting three. Did he really jump into him? Man, I can't believe that Houston blew this, man. Up 5 late and blew it, man. Terrible. Exactly. Floor space is not just threes. It's just a lot of people equate floor spacing to threes. And it's just not the case. How many timeouts does you got to get a quick 3 here? How long would you give this team to build chemistry before you decide who fits and who doesn't? Probably about another like 10 to 15 games. Once you're like 25, 30 games into the season, you're probably the team that you're going to be. You know, there's probably not going to be any like major surprises. Oh, get in there. Damn it. Clippers won their first game. Barely. James Harden saved the day. Now we're going to have to hear everyone talk about how great James Harden trade was because James Harden just hit the game winner. Like, that's ridiculous. Oh, whatever. Check it to see they call. Man, God, now we're going to have to hear how James Harden is the best player ever. And, God, the Clippers won the trade. Who would you trade Buddy for? I'd probably have to be something centered around like Gabe Vincent. You probably have to do like Gabe Vincent, JHS, or Maxwell Lewis. Because what you got Vincent, he's making like 11 million, and then you got JHS making 3.4, so that puts you at like 14, almost 15 million. We might have to throw somebody else in, but I wouldn't hate it. Like if we get him, he's still young enough to be somebody here long term, all that stuff. So, if we get Alex Caruso's first Laker home game, would be crazy. I am with you. He does want to retire. Like he wants the Lakers. Personally, I'm trading for just Caruso, and that's it. DeMar as well, if the price is right, I guess. Problem is I don't think we'd be able to trade straight up for Caruso because Lakers aren't going to give. You're not giving up your 2029 first for Caruso, and on top of that, like you have 10 teams based on reports that all want Caruso. I think the only way you really get Caruso is you put it in a package deal to where you're basically giving up players and pieces, like because you're gonna have to supplement the draft picks with salary. Can't really like guys like Maxwell Lewis or whatever. So instead of giving you another first, we'd give you like a Maxwell Lewis or whatever. Like that's the only way I see them getting that. In this day and age, you got to value every penny. Exactly. Dan, I know. It's so infuriating. Harden to go for that. Rockets wouldn't let us do that to them. Of course they wouldn't. They would have made all those shots. Sangoon wouldn't have missed those free throws. Might make better on defense. Hey, that's one thing Ham is really good at defensively. Why are we making the Clippers shoot free throws? It's so stupid. Shaking my head. Yeah. I still wish we would have brought back Lonnie Walker. That's my only regret of the offseason. I wouldn't have minded them bringing back Lonnie Walker. We could have used him now. But I don't think it's anything that's like completely necessary. I don't even know how much he would play with this team. Who is better between Miami and Philly? I would probably take Miami right now, but Philly, they've been really good, and they have enough to go get another star. So they probably make a trade for another star at some point. Bet the Flips won't do it again. Westbrook, 17 minutes. I sense unhappiness coming around the corner. Not tonight, though, due to the win. Well, Russell Westbrook was the one that said to do that. So Russ said, I mean, again, we'll see how long that lasts. But Russell Westbrook was the one that said, hey, you know what? Why don't I come off the bench? So they ain't gonna want Gabe and Jax. They getting anything back. They lost. Buddy is a shooter. Vincent only shots in the playoffs. Yeah, you'd have to give up something. That's what I'm saying. You have to do like a JHS. You have to give them something of value to make sense for Buddy. Because like at that point, like for Gabe and Jackson Hayes, they're better off just letting Buddy walk for free and just freeing up the cap space. No, just let this team get healthy. People are too impatient. I get that. Like I said, I don't mind if we do a trade either way. But if you can get better, you should get better. Lakers need to get that Drummond and Caruso deal if I am Rob, or get DeRozan with Caruso. I think you just go get all three. You know, like I said, I completely understand not wanting to, be patient, keep the team together. But even like if the Lakers were 10-0 right now, or 12-0, whatever they are, I would still like, if you have an opportunity to get better, you get better. If it's something that makes sense, you don't just make a trade just to make a trade. You don't just do something just to do something. But if you can do something that makes sense, that won't disrupt chemistry, that won't ruin like what you're building, like, and can make you better, I think you do it. DeMar, the only one we actually need. Everyone else is just icing on top. I kind of agree with that. I think Drummond would be nice because he'd be more trustworthy in the playoffs. But I get you. I'll back you up on it. Bro, the move is DeMar, Caruso, and Drummond. Yep. DeMar plus Caruso plus Drummond. Yep. Second unit. Caruso, Reeves, Rui, Wood, Drummond, which would be ridiculous. Do you think Klay Thompson will ever be a Laker? My guess is no. I don't think that'll happen. Never say never, because you never know. But yeah, if I had to guess, no. Klay Thompson will never be a Laker. DeMar will destroy the chemistry. Why do you think that? Like, what about DeMar DeRozan would destroy the chemistry? Right? It's not like we have great chemistry right now anyway. DeMar, if anything, could help stabilize that, because he just gives you that consistency. Like, if we had this incredible chemistry right now and it's like we can't do anything to mess it up, then yeah, sure, I can understand an argument. But we're terrible right now in a multitude of ways. So I don't know. I don't agree with that personally. I don't. I don't want LaVine whether he's able to trade or not. I personally don't. Again, it's one of those things I wouldn't be mad if it happened, but I personally think we should. Clay would be an excellent fit with LeBron. Just his shooting, yeah. But yeah, I don't see him ever coming to the Lakers. Lakers need to get DeMar, Caruso deal, or Drummond Caruso deal. Like I said, you go get all three. Tyler, do you feel Prince should be doing more? I absolutely do. I mean, not necessarily more, because he's been good at like hustle and getting after it defensively. But he needs to start hitting shots, man. Like, that's like, with him not hitting shots, he's not impacting the game the way we need him to. So personally, I think we need to see him start to hit shots. If he starts hitting shots, then we'll be in a better position. But yes, I think he does need to do more. Otherwise, we got to really start limiting him once everyone comes back. These people acting like the Lakers aren't 7-6 and struggling consistently in every game. Yeah, that's kind of my point too. Imagine Steph Fox, Luca having to deal with Vandal Caruso all game. Scary defense, yeah. And you could even throw in Reddish. Is Demar more of a ball dominant one-on-one type player though? He can be, but he's played in multiple systems. Like he played for Pop and the Spurs. Like there is none of that. Like he had his moments where he did, but for the most part, you have to, that ball is moving. So he can play in a multitude of ways. He can play off the ball. He can play on the ball. But what my guess is what they would do is he would be like the go-to scorer for a majority of the game, right? He would be the guy that you're running sets, you're getting him the basketball, right? Like think of like when LeBron had Dwayne Wade and Kyrie, right? But I think LeBron would take more of a step back than when he did with Kyrie and Dwayne Wade, right? But you'd have a guy that like essentially like he would have his moment. You get to go get buckets. You're gonna have your moment to go get buckets. You're gonna have your moments to go do X, Y, and Z, which I think you'd have the impact. DeMar shoots 43% from the field. Scoring is not our problem. He's shooting 43% this year, but he usually shoots from mid-range, shoots about 50%, which is what we would need. Zach LaVine is shooting terrible from the field this year too. I think it's just the Bulls. I think that they're both checked out. I think they both just need to get out of there. You see it all the time. And scoring is our problem. Like we go on just ridiculous scoring droughts. We're not scoring consistently. Like it's taking LeBron James bailing us out. I mean, literally, LeBron James is having to average 30 points a game just for us to be competitive. How is scoring not an issue? How is scoring not a problem when we literally need LeBron James to give you 30 to 35 just for us to beat some of these teams? And we haven't played like the good teams yet, right? We've played like the middle of the pack teams to the bad teams, and our offense is struggling. Like we're not even middle of the pack offensively. Like offense is definitely an issue right now. Guys aren't hitting shots. I just think you need a guy that can consistently, game in and game out, give you that consistent scoring. I don't think I've ever seen DeMar be anything other than a first option. I mean, you can make an argument he's the second option on the Bulls, but he, for the most part, has been the first option. He was the first option in Toronto. He was the first option in San Antonio. But he played off the ball a lot in both places. You know, you got to remember they had Kyle Lowry. So Kyle Lowry was on the ball heavily, and he was the point guard. And then DeMar kind of played his role as like the scorer. And then same thing in San Antonio. So he, more likely than not, he would be the second option, right? Like he would probably be able to do the things that he wants to do. He'd probably get his like 16 to 20 field goal attempts per game. Oh, I got some of my he would be fine. And he also wanted to be a Laker a couple years ago with LeBron and AD on the team after they just won an NBA championship. So there's no way DeMar doesn't know. Like if I go to Lakers, I'm going to have to play a different role than I've played. Right? He thought he was going to the Lakers when we went and traded for Russell Westbrook. So I mean, you don't have to trade D'Lo. You could get DeMar, especially if you're trading for DeMar. You can't get LaVine. You probably have to trade D'Lo to get LaVine. But if you want to get DeMar DeRozan, you don't even need to trade any of your core guys to get DeMar. We need Rondo on the staff. I don't think anybody is going to bring Rondo in after what he did. It's just a bad look. I expected Prince to be more impactful than Cam, though. I did too. And the first game of the season, he looked like he was going to. Or first two or three games of the season, he looked like he was going to be. D'Lo always plays good in the regular season. When the playoffs come, he's going to disappear. And what makes you think that outside of the Denver series? He didn't disappear in the Grizzlies series. He single-handedly helped us win that series. We might not win that series if it wasn't for D'Lo. And D'Lo showed up in the Warriors series. He was huge. He had, what was it, game 4 or whatever, that third quarter where he scored like 15 or whatever in that third quarter. Again, recency bias. Let's look at the overall package. Slight slump because they aren't trying. He's usually 47 to 50% ultra consistent mid range. Can't trade D'Lo till January, I think. I believe it's December 15th, but nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen till around the trade deadline anyway. Like the Bulls aren't gonna trade. They're not gonna trade LaVine because LaVine's gonna be the first domino. They're not gonna trade those guys till close to the trade deadline anyway, because they're gonna ride it out, try to drop the demand. Right, it's gonna take a month or two for them to kind of filter through all of like the bidding wars and stuff. So this is gonna be something that takes a while. Let's say Rondo at Tenga or Allen on Tenga. Is a good point guard for the first unit. I do too. DeMar would definitely take a load off of LeBron. The Lakers need LaVine. Problem is he's just making too much money. It'd be way too hard. Andrew, coming in hot, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. DeMar wanted to be a Laker. I think he wants to be the second or third option. As I'm typing this, you said my point. Yeah, I mean, he knew coming in to the Lakers that he was not going to be the first. And this was after Anthony Davis was arguably the finals MVP and MVP of the playoffs, right? Like, there's no way DeMar looked at that and went, LeBron James, Anthony Davis looking like the best player in the world. I'm going to be the number one option, right? No, he was willing to sacrifice. And the thing is that, like, he probably won't even really have to sacrifice that much because we need him to do what he does best, right? So that would allow LeBron to kind of not have to work as hard. LeBron's still going to go get his 20 plus because he's LeBron James, right? He's going to be able to put his head down and hit shots, especially if he's shooting the three ball the way he has been. LeBron's not going to have a problem going and getting 20. The thing is, he's not going to have to go get 30, 35. He'll be able to just kind of get through, go drop, 23 to 25 a game. You have D'Lo already giving you, 15 a game, 17 a game. So if LeBron takes 3 less shots, AD's going to go give you, 23 to 25 a game, and then DeMar will give you 20 to 23 a game. Like, it'll be fine. DeMar will work, right? Again, is there a chance it doesn't? Sure. There's always a chance when you're putting 3 star-level guys together. But I don't think this is anywhere close to a Russell Westbrook situation. I think DeMar fixes a lot of the issues that the Lakers have. Does he fix everything? Of course he doesn't. But I do believe he fixes a good chunk. But again, appreciate you. Thank you so much. And something else too, Jay, he would be the go-to option very likely down the stretch in the fourth quarter, because he's been one of the most clutch players in the league thus far. This last few years, DeMar isn't the answer, people. In what way? He absolutely, he's not the answer to everything, right? But he's the answer to a lot. Right? Let's say the Lakers, and the thing is, we could trade for DeMar and still make other moves. Like, it's not like DeMar, we have to gut the roster to go get DeMar. We don't. We could trade for DeMar DeRozan and still go get like another center or whatever, right? You go get DeMar, Caruso, and Andre Drummond. What other issues do you need to solve, right? Like, it would be nice to have like a go-to 3-point shooter. So maybe you could go get a DeMar, or maybe you go get a Buddy Hield or something like that. But if you get DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and Andre Drummond, or even if you just get, let's say you get DeMar and Andre Drummond, right? Like let's remove Caruso. Let's say you can't get Caruso. Let's say you just get DeMar DeRozan and you get Andre Drummond. Like, how many other problems are there that doesn't solve? I mean, it solves almost all of them. I can't say it on the stream because I don't want it to get flagged, but he basically, and then look it up. I hope my little animation worked. I don't want to say it on the stream because I don't want them to like flag it, or like demonetize it or something. He absolutely is. A Zach trade would require D'Lo plus Rui plus another about $4 million salary matching, and I would have to drop his 15% trade kicker. He'd probably drop his 50% trade kicker. Like, I wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, the problem is you'd have to give up. Like, you could get DeMar, Caruso, and Andre Drummond for the same price that it would cost to go get Zach LaVine. You might even be able to get all three for less than what it cost. I mean, not salary-wise, but like asset-wise, you might be able to get those three for less than Zach LaVine. DeMar would take away shots from D'Lo and Reeves and some of the lower quality looks, especially once he gets to the playoffs. Like, you're only going to be running 7-8 guys anyway. So like all of like the 3 to 5 shots that Jackson Hayes gets, he's not going to get. All the 3 to 5 shots that Prince get. Like, you're gonna you'll collect, because you're going to end up trading Reeves or you're going to end up trading D'Lo. One of those two are going to go, and both of those guys are shooting 10 plus shots a game. So there's, 3/4 of what DeMar would shoot. And if you do end up trading D'Lo, then D'Lo's taking almost as many shot attempts as DeMar is taking. Like, the shot attempts aren't the problem. Like, that's not my concern at all. Like, he's going to get his attempts. Rui can't be traded until January 15th because he signed on bird rights and is making more than 20% more than Lando Sarah. D'Lo can be moved December 15th because of his contract's not 20% higher. Yeah, which is why I thought, like, when somebody said, "Oh, I don't think we can trade D'Lo till January," I was like, I'm pretty sure it's December. But yes, Rui can't be traded till the 15th. Rui and Reeves. But like I said, anything's not gonna, like, nothing's probably happening until the 15th anyway. So LaVine got an attitude problem. I wouldn't want him. DeMar coming this summer. Don't need to trade much to get him. Problem is, like, where do we get the salary to sign him? Do you think we draft Bronny? I wouldn't put it past them. Like, I don't necessarily think they will. But if he's a late draft pick and the Lakers have an opportunity to, they might. What's going on, Butt Kicker? Appreciate you being here. When can we trade Gabe? I believe we trade him like tomorrow. No, but basically the 15th. Tyler, just a reminder, you're just a man. Thank you, Blucka. That's why I count on you. Drummond's more needed than Caruso. Yeah, I kind of feel like that too. But it would be tough not to get Caruso if we can. We have the most wins in group play in the West so far. We need to channel those vibes and use that motivation to give us the competitive edge through the season. Our team's fire gotta stay lit. Exactly. Like, if we just translated the way we played in the tournament into the regular season, we would probably be the best team in the league. Not gonna lie, Reeves might be the trade piece, which is kind of what I've been leaning to heavily, honestly. Our biggest problem is that AD cannot handle the very large 7-footers. Let's attempt to fix that problem. But again, who's available or potentially available that's going to solve the large 7-footers, right? Like, and again, you could go get Andre Drummond. You're not going to be able to fix every problem. But if you can fix everything else but that, then you fix everything else but that, because now you know that's your main problem, and then you can make the adjustments accordingly to try to navigate that and fix that, right? Like, who's really defending Jokic, Embiid, and all the top centers anyway? Who's slowing those guys down anyway? No one is. You're never going to stop Jokic. Like, all you can do is just throw bodies at him and hopefully wear him down over a series. That's why you have Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, and Anthony Davis. You throw those 3 guys at him over the course of a season, and you just keep wearing him down, right? Like, those are the things. Like, who could we get? We know that we probably could get Drummond, Caruso, and DeMar. Drummond would help with that 7-footers, right? You could play Drummond and AD together. Drummond would help fix our rebounding issues. It would help some of our defense. It would, you're always going to have an issue. There's always going to be some flaw. But if you can fix the large majority of the issues, then yeah, like, if we had DeMar DeRozan, do you think we don't beat let's say we swap D'Lo for DeMar DeRozan in that Nuggets series. Do you believe we don't beat Denver? again, think of how close and good those games were. If we had DeMar DeRozan in that Denver series, which Jokic torched us, do you believe that the Lakers would have won that series if we had DeMar DeRozan? If the answer is yes, then you go get DeMar DeRozan and you address all the other problems, and then you figure out the Jokic problem when you run into that matchup. DeMar came up short year after year against LeBron and the Cavs. Yeah, but so did every team in the league for 8 years, except for the Warriors. Like, that's a terrible point of reference, right? Like, so you could say every team in the West came up short because of the Warriors, right? Like, again, like you're talking about a guy that went to 8 straight finals. And that wasn't DeMar's fault. Like, DeMar was doing his part. He was playing his games, but LeBron was LeBron. I mean, prime LeBron is arguably the greatest player we have ever seen. In my opinion, he is. Like, you can't hold DeMar accountable. So is like Houston and LeBron and the Cavs and all these other teams. Is it their fault that the Golden State Warriors had Kevin Durant and basically ran through everybody? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good argument. Don't forget to hit that like button to help this man growing community. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, help the ego grow. Gabe, December 15th. Reeves, January 15th. Vando can be traded till next year, which you're not trading Vando anyway, Reeves. January 15th. Devo, December 15th, if that helps. Thank you, Jeremy. With the Pacers now playing well, I doubt they sell Turner. They're not going to take Drummond $3 million and get the best. But that's my point. Like, what big man, what center are you going to get that's going to help? DeMar, helps fix a lot of things. Like, who are you going to get that can help with the center option? By Katie and Harden, man, tough. If we had DeMar, we would have won the chip. Exactly. Jamal Murray really killed us last postseason. He did. We were still in all those games. Yep. If we get DeMar, we got to find our three-point shooting as well. Elite teams like Denver, Beantown, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Minnesota can shoot high clip. Got to be able to outmatch their output. I mean, we're never going to be able to outshoot those teams, even if we were not to get DeMar DeRozan. But DeMar can kind of help offset some of that, which is what's important. But we need to find our three-point shooting regardless. You would have gotten DeMar over Westbrook, we probably would have 2 more wins. I don't know about that that first year we got Russ, because that team was just bad, period. But I do think last year we would have had a really good chance. What we really need to do, since we can't fix all of our problems, is lean into our defensive identity, a point of attack defender that can shoot efficiently and attack the basket, and a big center. Problem is that every team in the league wants a point of attack defender that can shoot efficiently, and there are very few resources, right? Alex Caruso has been one of them this year. If we can get Caruso, that would be great. But we have enough defense and enough defenders. Jared Vanderbilt comes in and he's going to fix a lot of that. With Cameron, we were number 1 defensively in the league last year with just Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis. We're missing our best point of attack defender in Gabe Vincent. We're missing our best on-ball and maybe the best on-ball defender in the entire league in Jared Vanderbilt. You get those 2 guys, you add in Cam Reddish, and you go get a guy like DeMar DeRozan, you're going to be the best team in the league defensively, and you're going to be very good defense. You'll probably be top 5 offensively. You can explode 40, 50 in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. DeMar did his part. It's just LeBron James was LeBron James. Yeah, until LeBron. Yeah, exactly. Nobody was winning. I think we should trade Reeves. We need to unload him before the league realizes he had an insanity moment and he isn't going to be a valuable third option. It's definitely a concern. I'm letting Bulls pick any combination of players not named LeBron and AD. If it's for DeMar, Caruso, and Drummond, it's blank check for me. Yeah, essentially. Tyler, you're the best, but DeMar would not have helped us beat Denver. He would have clanked a bunch of shots the same way he did against the Cavs back when LeBron was in Cleveland. Wow. I don't know about all that. Look, I appreciate you, and look, you know how I feel. I love the conversation, but I completely disagree. Our biggest issue, like DeMar DeRozan was really good in those Cavs matchups. It wasn't them. It's just Cleveland had LeBron James, right? And then on top of that, like our biggest problem was just scoring down the stretch. We had insane scoring droughts. You don't think DeMar DeRozan helps with that? You don't think series the entire series was separated by 24 points total, not in one game. The entire series, 24 points total. You don't think DeMar DeRozan could have made up for 24 points when you had D'Lo, who basically was giving you goose eggs and completely unplayable? I don't know, man. I can't. Like, hey, look, I'll agree to disagree, but there's no way you believe DeMar DeRozan wouldn't have helped us beat in Denver, right? I mean, look, is it possible we wouldn't have? Absolutely. But DeMar would have given us a much better chance. Like, to think that there's no way we would have beaten Denver and that DeMar would have just been clunking shots, I don't know how you come to that conclusion. But anyway, I appreciate the conversation. As always, you're awesome. You were awesome. All right, let's power through these last few questions. I'm gonna get out of here so I can set up for some videos tomorrow. Been holding down the defense, though. He has. I think Reeves is just overthinking his game, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of the conclusion I've came to. I just think he's trying to replicate last season too much rather than just letting the game come to him. Man, I was watching some AD highlights on the Pelicans from the bubble. It looks like a completely different player on offense. He used to be way deeper bag he could get into. Yeah, and he just hasn't been able to find that. Just wouldn't have been able to find that. DeMar would have had other options around him, though. This is a better team than Toronto. DeMar has literally been one of the most clutch players. 2 years ago, he was by far the most clutch player. Last year was De'Aaron Fox, and DeMar was top 3? I think top 3 or 4. Literally, the last 5 years, DeMar DeRozan has been the most clutch player in the league. So I don't know how you say he doesn't handle pressure well. That's pressure. Him being able to hit shots down the stretch, down the clutch. And again, he wouldn't have to be the number one option. He wouldn't have to be the best player. DeMar trade would likely be Rui and Gabe. Love the player, but he would be the worst 3-point shooter on the team. With that said, DeMar is an upgrade, and we would have his bird rights, which is why I want to trade for him. Is you go get his bird rights. He might be, but here's my problem too. Is because DeMar has said repeatedly he's capable of shooting threes, and he can shoot threes. He just chooses not to. If we needed him to, I wonder if he can. It's hard to know how good or bad of a 3-point shooter he is when he only takes 2 attempts per game for his career, right? It's not like he's taken 8 to 10 attempts per game to where we have this super great sample size of him. So I don't know. I would be curious to see if he could knock him down because he takes really deep twos at times. He's basically right inside the 3-point line. So you're telling me he can't just take a step back and hit consistently? I mean, maybe, but I want to see something quick because what was his best? His best 3-point year. He was 32%. He was 32% last season on 2.3 attempts per game. 32% the year prior on 1.9 attempts per game. 35.2% on 1.9 attempts per game. So he's shooting basically 35% is league average on 2 attempts. His best shooting season from 3 was that year on 35. What's the most he's taken in a season? 3.6 with his last year in Toronto, and he only took 3 attempts. So I don't know how. I mean, he'd at least be, if he's at least 35%, then that's good enough. So yeah, I mean, if he could be at least 35%, that's serviceable enough. Because he's not going to take a lot of them. He's only going to take probably 3 or 4, if that, and that might be a lot. You got to remember that DeMar would be a third option. He's giving this team 25 easy, exactly. Seeing people constantly praise this maniac Tyler who would sleep with Christie makes me sick to my stomach. because he doesn't beat LeBron certain teams as a number one option. AD did say his hip is still bothering him. Did he? He single-handedly won Chicago a game versus the Bucks 2 years ago. He dropped like 40 plus to carry them as the main target. If they focus like LeBron and AD would, absolutely cook teams. I didn't say outmatch, but we got to match their offense at least to win the chip. Yeah, if we match their overall offense, yes, I agree. These teams that can shoot and hit shots can get on runs very quickly and score in bunches. Got to have balance. Agreed. What's bird rights again? It basically means you can go over the cap to re-sign them. So, like, if we were let's say DeMar will get $20 million next year, right? If we trade for him, we could basically bring everyone back and then re-sign him to his $20 million. But if we were to try to sign him in free agency, we would only be able to sign him for like $11 million. It just basically allows you to keep players without any of the restrictions. It's probably the easiest way to explain it. Are required 3-point shots to be taken, so I don't think we have a choice if he comes to us yet. Kobe wasn't big on shooting threes either yet. And like I said, the mid-range shot is so important in the playoffs. Literally so important. DeRozan has shot 32 to 35% in Chicago. That's serviceable enough, and I'm confident he can improve that if that's what his role is on the Lakers. He doesn't need to be 40% take guys he takes playoffs shots yet. Lakers will win against Houston. Let's get it. I think they will too. I will solidify whether the Lakers will be a serious contender or a hopeful contender. How good is DeMar defensively? He's not great. He's serviceable. He's better in team defensive schemes. So, like, if you put him in the right positions, he can actually play defense because he's got good size. But he's not like Jared. Like, he's not Jared Vanderbilt or like Cam Reddish or something like that. He's better than Reeves has been. That's for sure. And he'd probably be slightly better than like D'Lo has been this year. He's not particularly good, but he's an athletic 6'6" slasher who try to defend better than Reeves and D'Lo for sure. Yeah. Excuse me. What's good, bro? You heard Zach LaVine say his 3 destinations he want to go to. I did, and I was planning on making a video about that. Probably upload the video tomorrow on one of the Laker channels. I will definitely touch on that. I wanted to post that video tonight, but then it was just like I wanted to let things marinate before the actual game, because usually once the game happens and I get the live stream, then that like kills the video. So I was like, I'll just post about it tomorrow. But yes, we'll touch on that tomorrow for sure. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Facts. You got to shoot threes with confidence when necessary. He might be effective from 3 if he attempts when he's open. That will take his game to another level. Agreed. And he might be more willing to. He almost 34% since he joined the Bulls on about 2 shot attempts per game. If he can get that to 36, 37% on 3.5, that would be so helpful. That would be ridiculously helpful. Like, I would be okay with 35% from 3. If he could be 35% from 3, which he would also get more wide open threes than he's probably ever gotten in his career. So that's something else you got to keep in mind too. On the Lakers, DeMar DeRozan is Westbrook 2.0. It's better to just leave comments where you just say, hey, I don't know basketball and I don't know if it would be a good fit. Or even like if you don't want to admit you don't know basketball, you can just say like, hey, I don't know if he would be a good fit. You don't have to make like definitive statements like this that are just completely silly and untrue. Just words of advice. If you want to say, I don't think it would work, or do you have any concerns that we would go like Westbrook to where I could explain to you why it wouldn't? That's fine. I'd be more than happy to answer that. But to say something like on the Lakers, DeMar DeRozan is Westbrook 2.0, I mean, I can't help you, man. I can't help you. I cannot help you. I don't want to lose Rui either. I think long-term, Rui has more value, but you're in win now. You are currently in win now. And DeMar DeRozan would impact the game more than Rui. Supposedly, everyone who joins the Lakers becomes a bad three-point shooter. Maybe DeRozan actually becomes a good three-point shooter. That would be great. Trade Tyler for GQ Man of the Year, Kim Kardashian. Let's do it. We need to re-sign Cam Reddish. Yeah, hopefully he opts in. I'm just glad people stop begging for Dwight Howard. Facts. Seriously, stop begging for Dwight Howard or Boogie Cousins. And that said, it's almost 2 a.m. Florida time. Good night. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate you as always. Yeah, I'm about to skate out of here too in a moment. Let me get this last question, and then I'm out. Lakers should get DeMar next season because his contract will end next season. Problem is how did the Lakers sign him next season? You'd have D'Lo, Rui, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Yes, LeBron James could opt out and maybe take a discount, but more likely than not, you're not. So you're not going to be able to sign DeMar DeRozan next offseason. You got to get him now. Like Andrew said, we can't afford DeRozan if he waits until extremely cheap. You basically he'd have to be willing to take essentially a taxpayer mid-level, which there's no world where he does that. He's still good enough and talented enough and still relatively young enough to where he's going to get a $20 million contract regardless. So the only way you're going to get DeMar DeRozan is trade for him. But anyway, I'm going to skate on out of here, everyone. Excuse me. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me. Thank you all so very much for these super chats. I really do appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And everyone that liked this video, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys are beautiful, and I will see you all in the next one.